Oh
Cream.
God.
My main question is, why am I explaining a microphone to an audio engineer?
Okay,
Exactly.
The ice cream
I'm sure I can answer your question. I'm just going to need you to explain it to me again and slowly. So you swapped out your breath filter for an ice cream cone pad. Is that right?
This little pad that fits on a microphone that makes it look like an ice cream cone. You know what I'm talking about.
Do I?
Yeah,
An ice cream cone. So does it have like a kind of a waffled pattern to it, like an ice
Jesus
cream cone?
Christ! It doesn't have sprinkles. It's the affect of an ice cream cone.
It's the affect of an ice cream cone.
It's just the general shape.
That's a word you don't hear every week.
Yeah,
the general shape.
It's just it evokes the essence of ice cream cone, but it's a little foof. It's a little foof on the microphone.
A foof.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Isn't that a
why
dead
didn't
cat?
you say so?
It's a fat cat with a foof.
Okay.
A foof's that thing that you use to shower with.
With sprinkle.
A loofah.
Yes. Fufa. Yes.
Loofah.
It's fufa, but
I think
it's
a
okay.
fufa is probably a euphemism that your grandmother might have used for something different.
A Victorian era smut.
Give you the ice cream cone.
Okay, so the breath filter, I'm sure you mean a pop screen, right? Like a
the little like pantyhose fabric thing that you breathe through. Yeah.
The mission to get you to say pantyhose is complete.
Are we talking about your grandma again?
Wow. We've got the episode's bingo card halfway filled out already.
The other thing you're talking about must be like a foam windscreen.
Yeah.
Which fits, it's like black foam that fits right over the microphone. And you think that makes it look like an ice cream cone.
I knew you knew.
I've got
I
one
knew
of
you were
those.
tracking. Thank you.
Yeah,
we all have one. We're all professionals. Come on.
Got it.
Jesus
a dead
Christ.
cat is like is a bigger deal. It's like a whole capsule, encapsulates a whole microphone, and it has like long hair. Like it looks like a long-haired cat.
You see them on the boom mics sometimes.
Right. That's what you need for like actual wind. Because that's what will arrest actual wind. The foam will do a little bit, and the pop screen really is only going to be good for plosives and stuff. You wouldn't use it if there was wind involved. So yeah.
Okay,
well, now that we've cleared the air on that drama,
covered enough microphone technology to start.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
all right,
I'm happy.
Let's maybe kick this off. Welcome everyone to the Loose Screws podcast. I'm your host, Roy Cookson, and it's the 330th episode for the 14th of May, 2026, 3312.
33012.
Wait, he said 3312, so we say 2026.
Okay.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, no. 2026. 26.
Ish.
Nice.
Magnificent.
Great.
All right. This week I'm joined by Commander JN Trax.
Oh, hello.
Commander Oblivious.
Is this really Roy, or is this Lark doing Roy?
Oh, let's explore that.
So
and
good.
Commander Audaxius.
Hello. I'm back from a work conference in my home state. And
He sounds like he's doing Barack Obama.
He does.
Oh, I'd like to thank you all for joining us here on this podcast.
Okay. So
That was my Zach Hudson impression.
we've let's run through our segments, shall we? Why don't we find out what everyone's been doing this week first? Audaxius, how about you go first?
Yo, I've been on the, what do the youth call things these days? The grind,
The reefer.
having the grind set. No, Jesus Christ, the reefer.
Raw something?
Some degenerate. No, I'm strange enough without the drugs. The grind set, the side hustle grinds. I don't know how young people talk these days. I've been working. I had a contract from my side business, which was really cool and a lot of fun. And that was most of my time. And I found myself having maybe an hour or two of game time in the whole week. So
Rough.
Yeah, a little rough. Not always going to be this way, but I have been generally a mild nuisance in general chat. So that's kept me satisfied as far as the elite sphere goes. So that is the abridged life of Daxi for this week, guys. Not much else going on.
Okay. Well,
All right.
maybe tracks will be more interesting. How about we hear from them?
Wow.
Guys. what have I been doing? I did manage to play Elite Dangerous for quite a few hours. There was an extremely important CG, in case you didn't know, in the system Lhou main, and it was great for doing some fun gameplay that we haven't done in a while, flying a brand new ship that we never had before, and filling up a bunch of material bins, which have been considerably drained because of how many new ships have come out lately. And the Kestrel in particular, I have engineered and re-engineered so many guns as the Kestrel changed everything about everything. So yeah, I was very happy to get on the material train there and run a lot of tourists and politicians out of an on-fire station. Incidentally, if you'd been watching System Chat, you would have thought that the name of the game was Earn Credits. Because for some reason, lots of people don't seem to understand that credits don't matter in this game. I don't understand it, but after a little while, I think I figured it out. And it's actually the same reason that we have disagreements sometimes when we talk about, solo mode affecting things like BGS and power play. And there are people who play a completely different game than me, and they think that I'm threatening their game when I talk about that stuff. And that's because the game they're playing is called Watch Number Go Up Simulator.
Yes.
In space.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's fine. Like, idle click games, but you want to fly a spaceship while you do it. That's excellent. But I just didn't really, you see System Chat and everybody, I found a 50 million credit mission over here. 50 million credit. Guys, I made north of 1 billion credits, absolutely ignoring the credits and often picking the lowest credit missions out there because I was grabbing the material rewards and sorting by those exclusively. And I made north of 1 billion credits. I don't even think I was pushing that hard on this. It's unbelievable. But anyway, whatever. Like I said, people play a different game. I did find it very interesting. I don't know if we were planning on talking. The Lynx is like old now. We're like weeks into this, right? Were we going to talk about the Lynx at all in
Why
this
don't you
episode?
talk about it now?
All right.
Talk about it now.
You know what? I will. So I thought the Lynx was a fun ship build. And after setting up a pretty righteous prismatic shield, I realized that I'd done it completely wrong. And the name of the game for the Lynx is Shieldless. This is how this ship is going to be fun. Because the thing is, like, no matter what shield you put on there, I was in the like 14,000 megajoules of like kinetic resistance power. And that was fun, but it was fun-ish, but it wasn't going to be like the level of invincibility that I can do on a Panther Clipper where I'm like over 40,000 megajoules.
Yeah.
And you can really just like fight the attackers, sometimes 3 at a time for a little while. So I said, let's go a completely different direction. So we stripped the shield. We're using a reactor modded for low emissions, and you slide in and out of this burning station. The thing doesn't care about heat. I have 2 heat sinks and 2 point defense. All of my hull points went into kinetic resistance because the point defense is taking care of explosives, and I'm going to be in silent running anytime I see an attacker. And so I don't think they can hit me very well. Their only shot is, they're probably going to be using kinetic damage anyway because they're gankers. And their only shot is going to be to get in so close that they can hit me without targeting me. And that's where the mines come in. The mines that reboot their thrusters and damage the shield generator directly. And the system works, guys. It was really fun. Now, this ship is not invincible to any attacker who actually knows what they're doing, but it is fun to see the people who would pull me over. One particular guy in a Kestrel showed up ready to go and just started opening up with the frag cannons. And I destroyed his shield generator and he ran away.
I wanted to ask you about the mine.
From a shieldless Lynx.
Yeah. I want to ask you how you use the mine. Are you doing reverse ski with that or just straight out or what?
Yeah, exactly. So when they drop into me, I go silent running. I can stay in silent running for days with this build. I only have to use my heat sinks, it seems, when I fire the torpedoes, because all this ordnance makes a lot of heat, the torpedoes especially. So anyway, I've got 2 mine launchers. So one of them has ion disruptor and the other one has
reverberating cascade. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the one that does shield generators. So ion disruptor reboots thrusters. So when you hit a ship with that, they stop dead in the water and they can't steer for a few seconds.
Did you put those on your front hard points or the back?
I got those all the way out on the sides, the pontoons.
On the back sides one? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the 2 on the cheeks, I used some missile launchers, some seekers. I had some from CGs that were like lightweight plus something.
That's
so one
the
of them
front cheeks, not the back cheeks.
That's right. Yes.
Okay.
So I think I used the one that had drag and the other that had the FSD interrupt, because I thought that'd be fun. I'll you know what I'll interrupt their FSD when they pull me over. And then on the top I put a torpedo that also has reverberant canister or reverb cascade. Reverberant canister is something else. I think that does heat or something stupid.
Did you ever hit anything with that?
I definitely connected with at least 1 torpedo on one of the Corsairs that attacked me.
Nice.
The ion mines were nasty against that Corsair because there's no way you could possibly steer out of the way. So your reverse-key, I want them to be close, but just outside of 500 meters. That's the arming distance of the torps. And once their thrusters are down, that's when you let the torps loose, and they have plenty of time to get in there and connect. I almost got that Corsair too. That was a pretty friendly guy who friended me afterwards. So that we could chat. I guess I had his shield generator down to like 30% or whatever when he finally took me out.
So the mines, even though they were on the back flanks, they didn't like hit your ship as you were going backwards and they were deployed.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Okay.
I think they have a slight arming time, but they kind of shoot out a little bit as well.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, it was fun. It worked well. One interesting thing, somebody in a cutter pulled me over and never fired a shot. Just kind of stared at me for a little while. I'm assuming scanned me, and then they just took off. I was like, oh. I mean, I wasn't going to shoot if they don't shoot, so I thought that was interesting. I wonder if they just eyed up the mines and thought, nope, and left.
They scanned your modules, and they were like, oh shit, this guy knows what he's doing.
Mines and torpedoes, and I'm facing him, bearing. I'm
either he is a total
backwards.
idiot or an absolute genius, and I don't feel like risking it.
Yeah,
I don't know. Do you think some people that are out yanking links know what they're doing?
I ran into some that don't. Yeah.
I ran into a mix. Yeah, I mean, there were some somebody in a Python 2 was absolutely unfazed. Just wasted me with whatever multi-cannons were on that thing without any trouble. And I mean, it's a large ship, and I'm not like able to avoid fire. It's really just.
Were you packing any module reinforcements?
Yeah,
how do you keep the FSD safe?
I had 1 module reinforcement, and it was the ship was dying before the module reinforcement was. But the thing is, since I'm in silent running, they can't target my module. So I was safe from like railgun attacks or missile attacks or anything really. The only thing they were going to be able to do, dumb fires they might be able to hit me with, but my PDCs would shoot those down. And yeah.
So just to clarify, because I don't think I knew that, or maybe I'm misunderstanding. So when you're in silent running, is it just because they would see you as like a wobbly thing on the radar that they can't target modules? Or
yeah, I mean,
can they get
really
close enough to then?
Can
they get close enough? Can they ever get close enough that they can sort of burn through the silent running and then target you?
I don't know. I think silent running is supposed to be truly no heat signature.
It
no internalizes it all.
It's no heat signature unless you're pulling the trigger. But with mines, it's like a quick bloop.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you're not, because I'm not connecting with them.
If you had pulses or multis on, even if you're in silent running, if you're pulling the trigger, you're full display on the radar.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But this, I mean, I wasn't really thinking I was going to take out any ships. It was really interesting to destroy the shield generator on that Kestrel. Now, obviously, they could get away. I really tried to hit them with the FSD interrupt, but they're were literally fast enough that they could avoid the missile.
Well, and the hit to their ego is more satisfying than any in-game damage, right?
Yeah, I thought it was fun.
That dude ran away from a lynx.
It was fun. It was fun.
He ran away.
The let's see, the Corsair was fun too because it was like a plasma accelerator build. So I was like, you know, in silent, he's having to shoot it manually with no leading reticle, and you know, he eventually got me, but I made it tough and almost got his shield generator. So that was pretty good. But the whole thing about this a CG where you're carting something away instead of bringing something to, sort of the opposite of what we have today now, right? So there's no consequences. And that's the other thing that I thought was funny is like in system chat, there's the usual garbage about, oh, watch out, this person's ganking. And it's like they're speeding up your runs here, bud. Like when they shoot you down, you
show up
respawn in the
way.
system. Plus, I mean, you bought a Lynx for 0 credits. Right. In my case, I mean, I think a lot of people hopefully are somewhere in power play where they have a discounted or free rebuy anyway. So I was paying literally 0 rebuy, even the modules that I put on this thing.
Yeah.
I just don't understand. Like, it's just fun, you know. It's nothing. In fact, it'd be a great time if somebody has some anxiety or something about flying in open and like, oh, just especially around a CG system. This would be the perfect time to just like literally just expose yourself. Like, it's consequence free. You can't lose anything here. You're returning empty.
Yeah. Frontier offsets their losses from not charging arcs in the store by in-game. When you die, your rebuy, you have to pay arcs.
Oh no!
Oh God!
That's how they're gonna get them back.
They would never exit solo.
Oh man!
Wow, that's something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, that's the exciting part of my life, and now I'm going to go deliver a single power generator to Lhou because I do want more exciting cargo racks.
Who doesn't?
Spicy
Who doesn't?
cargo.
Oblivious, what have you been up to?
You know, I don't know. I forgot about 5 minutes ago after listening.
Well, take a crack at it.
It's not as exciting as what Trax has been up to. I hadn't had that much time in game, but what little I was doing was the same thing. Was doing that little CG. I was disappointed because I never got pulled.
Aww.
You know, so come on, guys.
Your reputation precedes you.
You know, but they would have to scan me to know my reputation. I didn't even get scanned, man.
Okay, yeah, in that case, no one cares.
Yeah.
Don't you want to know who I am?
Yeah, don't you want to know who I am? No? Oh.
Please ask me who I am.
Please? Oh, man.
And real life hasn't been that excited either. Except I will say I have been working for the last 6 weeks, almost every day with the pup on off-leash training, doing a lot of hiking off-leash and recall stuff, and she's doing really well. Really proud of how she's come along. So that's been a lot of fun.
Cool.
Dax, what about your side hustle?
Oh, my side hustle?
Yeah.
Quick synopsis. It's historical building preservation and conservation. Very, very niche, like hyper niche. But I was working on a 1930s era home. And because it is so niche, I had a gushing homeowner who could not find a contractor to touch their house in 6 years because it's pre-building codes. So very niche market, but it just felt so cool to show up to this like mildly frazzled homeowner and be like, no, okay, I'll answer all your questions. We'll go ahead and get it all figured out. That was almost more rewarding than even the income, because there's a very, very small market of people that have a very specific concern. Very cool to be able to step in and be like, hey, I got you covered. So, yep. Yeah, that was it. But
then you found out he's on Reddit and you've been trolling him ever since.
I asked if they could pay in ARCs, and they're like, "What the hell is ARCs?" You know what? Never mind.
Nice.
I'll take Zell.
It's just another conversion, you know? Why don't these
Yeah.
people get with it instead of making you jump through all these hoops to turn your wealth into arcs?
Yep. I missed the CG though. Maybe in the next CG I'll be the ganker. And I'll find Oblivious and I'll make his day.
Oh, there
Yeah.
you go.
There you
That'll
go.
work.
I'll at least scan you. You're welcome.
Okay.
I think we're all waiting on Roy though, huh?
Yeah. How about Roy?
Yeah.
Mark.
Well, see, in real life, my weeks of business trips are over,
Uh-huh.
and now I'm back home, along with our youngest son back from college, staying with us for the summer. I'm looking forward to barbecue season. In game, I did have a brief gap between the trips, and I also built not one but two Lynx highliners, one for the main and one for the alt, as per usual, and fully kitted them out. And I did one of each. I did one that had a max prismatic shield and the FSB rockets and the mines, and I also did a cold silent runner after seeing what you were having fun with, Trax. I did do all the engineering in open. Nobody saw, like, one person. Even going into Shinrarta Desra, didn't well, there was a lot of lynxes in Shinrarta Desra. That was about it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Not a strong threat. Are the lynxes
really.
like posturing at each other, dropping mines hopelessly?
Just shieldless lynxes ramming each other.
Well, actually, you know what that reminds me? I happened to be, while I was doing that, Chick came on, and he was in his Lynx and getting pulled, and he had no weapons on it, and he actually killed a ganker by ramming them. I watched
Oh my God.
Oh, this is a story we're going to need.
It was incredible. Like, he took a couple runs at him, and he actually streamed it, and I'm watching it kind of jousting, and then he hits him once. He's like, holy cow, his like shield's down like 3/4. Let's go. And managed to connect a couple more times, and that was that. So.
What can't Chig accomplish in this game?
Yeah. I did try the mines, and all I did was I sort of did a spiral thing as I was flying away, and nothing connected with them, but it did slow down. I think it startled people maybe or something, but it gave me a few seconds, and then I was able to low wake out. So it was kind of not a lot of drama there. So
yeah.
That was me for the week. Let's see. How about we go over to Squadron Briefing?
Incoming priority message.
Squadron Briefing.
Well, we are currently at 421 systems, and that's up 1 from last week. It should be 2, but it's up 1. And we're in control of 128 systems where we own the starports in those systems. If you're looking to take advantage of the fun you can have with Boom and Public Holiday, go to Maikoro. That's going to wrap up here pretty soon, so you need to get out there quick. And if you want to do a little bit of conflict zone war type stuff, we got a control war that we're interested in Ross 676. And Trax, you remember that system we were fooling around with called Alexandrinus?
Alexandrinus?
Yes, however we want to say it. Alex around the drainus.
Aluminium.
That's
yeah, I remember that one.
Pretty interesting system. We've been having a lot of fun with that. Starting way back at the first of the year, a bit of a dust up with our buddies in the Archer system. Kind of messed with kicked off some stuff in We hit back by doing a little bit of undermining, and it's been a lot of fun. There's been a lot of back and forth. We've been seeing folks in open. There's been some good PvE going on.
Took the system from Archer a couple of times, as I understand it.
Yep. Took it from a couple. This little PMF called Lhou Screws. Took it a couple of times, and you had good shit talking, starting up, meme wars, and silly little videos going on. It was a lot of fun, but I guess we were distracting them a little bit too much. I mean, we've been seeing the Kruger reports where they've been losing systems because they retreated us out this last week. And
well, that's weird. I feel like I was told
Oh.
Directly that they don't mess with BGS factions.
I heard that was the credo too, but I don't know. I guess
maybe if you hurt their power play enough, they get salty about it and they decide to mess with BGS factions since they can't seem to eliminate us otherwise.
Yeah, that's possible. That's possible.
You never know.
No, but I'm seriously disappointed. Right? I really enjoyed the interaction. It was fun, and I would have loved to have seen it at least extend out to end of June when we all get supposedly distracted by operations. But maybe we can strike up something again sometime soon. But that's over. And that's why we're in 421 systems instead of 422.
But who's counting?
Who's counting? That's
Squadron
Briefing.
Can we knock that down just one? Is that possible?
Nope. We were that
Oh, nice.
last week, but you messed that go.
Nice. Sick.
All right. Well, speaking of power play, why don't we go to the short PP report with Audaxius?
This is the short PP report.
Target shields offline. Target destroyed.
It's average, so get your facts straight.
Once again, big shout out to our boy KrugerFive for compiling all this information for us. Cycle 80. Good God, that's a year and 3/4 about. No surprises again. We always lead with who's doing best, which means you're not going to hear me say Zamina Torval. Princess Aisling had the best week going, adding 16 systems and 8 new fortifieds. We have Kaine in second. Kaine seems to be going strong. Very uninteresting in my book as far as a character goes, but Kaine always seems to represent pretty well. So strong standing second this week, points and systems. Your local dunce, Jerome Archer, the one power that went in negative, he lost a stronghold. Wow.
They should do better next week.
Yeah. It's almost like focusing on Alexandrinus. The point wasn't Alexandrinus. Huh. It's funny. But yeah, Kaine stepping up in Archer's blunders, taking 7th place from Archer. As far as the Kroger and the nice guy rankings go, still don't know how to say that. Going to stick with nice guy. And all the powers. It's not that. All the powers setting systems this week. Interesting point on that. That hasn't happened in 14 cycles. So we've got a few months behind us where there wasn't a universal upward trend, but that seems to be the way things are going. And I love it. So if you guys want to check out the stats, they're better than Frontiers. Frontier, we love you, but we also don't. That's at k5elite.com. We've got a whole website via much better metrics and numbers to get the real feel for the move of power in the galaxy. So that is our short PP report.
Very good. Very good. There's no dev news really to speak of this week, but Trax, we got some Galnet news.
Sort of.
What?
No, there is. Okay.
Do we?
It kind of, yeah, I mean, a little bit. All right, guys, back on the 11th of May, that's 3 days ago as we record this, criminal faction remains silent after Lhou attacks. Questions remain unanswered following Sorry?
Sorry, does that just mean that they didn't take time to write the narrative any further? Like, does that Keith, the intern, just took a break?
I don't know. Maybe it's consistent with don't want to get caught. I don't know.
Yeah, huh.
Anyway, questions remain unanswered following last week's unprovoked attacks on starport facilities across Lhou. Security analysts stated that the attacks bore remarkable similarities to last month's coordinated attacks across military installations in the core system. Now, I wish I'd done this in my old-timey newscaster voice. I blew it.
You can
pick it up
switch
from now.
These patterns are usually reserved for military trials and reconnaissance operations, a senior security observer told Vox Galactica. Simulated attacks are used... Is that what it says? Sorry, I'm having trouble reading their font. It's the teleprompter's fault, not mine. I'm good. Simulated attacks are used to probe response times, defensive weak points, and the speed with which system security can coordinate with independent pilots. Similar data malware packages bearing the hallmarks of twin axe moths have also been witnessed across Lhou networks. Sorry?
Can I do the Morse code sound effect in the background very softly?
Sure, by all means. Crime correspondent Mira Bukowski has revealed evidence from underworld sources allegedly liking the motif of a rogue pirate admiral. I can't concentrate.
He was reading the Morse code.
Yeah.
Oh my.
So linking the motif to a rogue pirate admiral going by the nom de realize it was French in here. Nom de guerre, Lady Z, and coalition fleet directed by a single criminal syndicate. Oh, this is so long. Very few are willing to share the more details on who Lady Z is. We don't know if this is because they are unaware or they are simply scared, she added. With evacuation efforts still underway, the attackers' true motives remain unclear for now, yet investigators warn that Lhou may have been selected for reasons beyond simple disruption.
Galnet news. Reread the news so Trax won't.
That is my favorite segment of the podcast.
Oh, God, there's another one.
No. Forget it.
Okay.
We're done.
Okay. I will go ahead and shout out that. So the next one, by the way, is just the civilians have been evacuated safely. So today it turns over and there's a new community goal. Now we're rebuilding the station. So now you got to see Lhou on fire. Now you're going to get to see, or I should say Rayman. You got to see the Rayman on fire. And now you're going to get to see the Rayman with all his scaffolding up. So lots of unusual. Well, I guess this probably isn't unusual for people who build stations, is it?
Well,
probably a typical look.
You could also just see Operation Ida coming out of long-term hibernation from the end of the Thargoid War.
The takeaway here, literally, is that they want us to bring titanium, aluminum, and power generators to Rayman. And if you deliver even one of any of those things, you will get a couple of those enhanced cargo racks, a 5 and a 6, some credits, and a Panther Clipper red paint job for your Panther, And I just to remind everybody, because some people don't seem to realize this, that means you don't have to deliver more than one.
Was there not a 75% reward?
There's no 75%. There's no meaningful benefit there's no meaningful benefit in delivering more than one unless your goal is to make this end so quickly that the poor saps who are out on Distant Worlds 3 still and haven't returned to the bubble yet miss out on these rewards.
The total deliveries on Inara is just the exact number of players who participate. It's like 10,000 total.
That would be wild. No, the top commander has already delivered 78,000 units.
Oh my God. Get out of here.
Boo. Wow,
That's
that's a new one.
selfish. It's like when Germany beat Brazil 9-1. It's like, sit down, man. Ugh.
Take a
Goal
break.
to Alemania. I was there. It was
Mhm.
horrific. Yeah.
Horrific. It was a slaughter. Yeah, but with those prices, man, who's talking about credits? When my
Once
God,
again,
you're like
It's
you're
back
like
to credits.
you're like what's even the term for times 10? Desuppling your money? How do you say that? It's not tripling.
I
It's
like that.
10.
Desuppling, decoupling. It's
You're
Decoupling.
decoupling. I think you're
Decoupling.
desuppling your credits.
deck-toupling. Ooh,
Dodecading.
Do-
Dodecading.
would that be by 12, though?
your credit.
Oh yeah.
God,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
you heard it here
imagine-
first, everybody. Dodeck your credits
Yeah.
at Lhou Main.
Imagine buying the game and getting into the game now, and that's your first CG, and you're looking at 1 billion
Aw.
credits. You wouldn't.
Yeah.
That's it. The game's over.
It's
Yep.
like, hang it up.
All done.
Go play something
Yeah.
on your phone.
Wild, right? Yeah.
Or
All right.
anyway, bring some titanium to the Ray, man. So I want to also shout out my good friend, my good personal friends, Burr and Rini, who a little diatribe on YouTube's and about this Lady Z. I think some interesting thoughts going on there, and you're gonna have to watch the video because I'm not gonna repeat them.
It's a good video.
Yep.
Yep.
And so, and then eagle-eared listeners should know that yes, I technically was warned about the French.
Yes.
True.
Eagle-eared?
Yeah. Yes.
Eagle, yeah. It turns out eagles can hear really good too. Jesus.
We need
Okay.
to give Trax more surprise French in the show notes.
Surprise French. That's the one.
And apparently, we'll be serving hors d'oeuvres after the what the hell?
Surprise French.
What is
I think it's
that?
gonna stick, guys. I think it's gonna stick. Okay.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
like in tears over here. I think I need a break.
All right. I'll give you a break for just a moment. We're going to come
Okay.
right back to you.
Okay.
Awesome. So unless you've been living under a space rock, you know that operations are coming in a few weeks. And it's
Yes.
and it's something that
Allegedly.
allegedly. It's something that Elite has not really had before. Squad-based, multi-stage missions that launch from the normal game, but take place in bespoke, isolated environments. Frontiers said they're going to launch from anywhere you're docked with default mercenary mode, power play affecting mode, and 6 scenarios to begin. So this is not, just like CQC, but it's also not just simply another mission you fly in open space. It's kind of in this middle ground. So this may give Frontier the freedom to build more cinematic, hand-authored spaces, but Elite's magic, some might contend, has always come from the idea that we're all operating in one big shared persistent galaxy. So I have some questions for the crew about this. But first, I'd like to give the floor back to Trax, who has something of, a prediction about operations?
I guess so. I'm by no means the only one who's said things to this effect, but I just feel like I need to drudge it up and bring more attention to the idea here. And that's so not specifically about the mechanics and stuff like that of what operations will be, which I'm sure we'll get onto later here. But almost like from a higher level, from like a future of the game level, I feel like there's a potential in operations here because it's creating these like raid instances for an analogy.
Yeah.
That means that I think that means that they're going to be able to put in the future, not these starting scenarios necessarily, although we're already seeing like some of them are on a megaship where we've never been able to walk on foot and stuff like that. So there's new things there, but that means like anything new that isn't in the game can be put there, right? So we can make something that is something we've always wanted, like surfaces that are atmospheric, or ice planets, lava planets, like all these gas giant things, anything without having to make it persistent and throughout the whole game and add it to the Stellar Forge, which super reduces I imagine the coding workload and stuff like that to make this work. It doesn't have to connect to anything else. It can
Right.
be this ad hoc thing. And I think that's like, if I'm right, I guess that hopefully they're thinking this way. This is like kind of the most important thing that they've done with the game for a long time. Like, I mean, like before Odyssey, frankly, because they should be able to do basically anything. And I think that's a huge deal. Ship interiors,
Yep.
the argument about shipping, like, will we ever see this? And what would be the point anyway at this point? And you do everything from a menu, so all it could possibly do is slow you down. But isn't there value in the realism? Yeah, I get both sides of it. But this is like, your derelict anaconda sort of, who knows what scenario that gets put into, but it could easily, that's I didn't mean it like that, but you know what I mean? It's much easier than adding that as a feature to the game, adding Earth-like worlds as a feature, but creating a place where 4 players can go and play through a scenario, that's doable. So,
Well, and they could also, I mean, just to riff on that for a second,
Yeah.
beyond just having a smaller, say, burden, perhaps to put something like that in the game through that method, it's also a way maybe to gauge reaction to it to see if it could become something that goes further in the game by how well it's engaged with through operations. As opposed to committing to doing something across the galaxy.
They're going to have numbers on all these. What scenario do people pick most often?
Well,
yeah.
Let's see. I think that's really interesting, Trax, because I think it dovetails with one of some questions I want to put to the crew that are all basically around this idea that when operations happens in a private instance, how much does the live galaxy still matter? So to kick this off, I'd like to know from each of you what you think about this. If an operation launches from a specific station, fleet carrier, squadron carrier, where power play relevant location, wherever you're docked, what should that location actually mean? Is it just where you click the button, or should it determine what kind of operation is available? Start with that. Adaxius, you had a
Yeah, I don't know if I mean, armchair quarterbacking here. I don't know if I would have it influence what type of operation is available. I would love if power play influence was tied to the in-game location, even if you're not flying to a megaship. That because they put so much work in well, I don't know how much work it was, but there was work done in power play to aesthetically influence the game. That's the graffiti, the flags and stations, just that there's some obvious visual indication of the changes, because so much of the games, 10,000 systems in the bubble, they're mostly copied and pasted, which is not a problem with a game this size. But how do you give procedurally generated assets a feeling, right? I would love if you had to be in that space to influence that space, to kind of tie the two together. But I wouldn't necessarily tie it so much to the scenario as to what broader in the galaxy can you influence. That would be my take on it.
All right. What about you, Oblivious? Or BGS Warmaster?
He's gone.
Mysteriously gone silent.
I'm going to pass on this one.
Okay, let's jump to Trax. We'll save. We got lots of questions. You can come up in the next one. No worries.
All right.
I think
Trax, do you think it matters?
Well, okay. So I'm kind of reaching back into my memory here of what we've been told and how it was worded. I feel like there was a couple of moments where they said that the person starting, maybe I'm interpreting that, but when you begin a operation, you choose, is it power play mode or is it otherwise mode? And I think especially for the power play mode, they said that you would choose what system you wanted to undermine.
Okay.
Now, they didn't say it had to be within range or something. It kind of makes sense to me that it would need to be like whoever's launching it, whoever's the leader of the 4, has to be within range of something, and there would be some kind of sort of bubbles of influence the way power play works. That makes sense. It's not, I don't think it's necessary Like, I think the game could still work without it, because either way, we're like, we're getting onto this little 4-pad carrier thing, and who knows where it goes. It does a hyperspace jump or something. It shouldn't really matter, because we're trying to gamify it, right? We're trying to make it fun, I think.
Okay. Oblivious, you're coming back in with a thought?
Yeah, but a question. Didn't they say you gain access through that particular special carrier, or you had to be in a station or another fleet carrier? It's not.
I think you have to land. You have to be somewhere with a landing pad.
Mhm.
And they said anything. So basically, to me, that says you have to get to the landing pad menu. And from there, you will be able to join the operation or start an operation. That's what it sounds to me. Now, I think that means, like, maybe the leader has to be, the person who starts it has to be within range of what they want to influence. It could work the same way BGS versus power play. You could have to be near the system you're trying to BGS influence.
Okay.
I don't know. But clearly not everybody needs to, because they've said you can join from anywhere.
Be anywhere. Yeah.
Right, exactly. That's what I thought.
So the only question is, like, does the leader need to be in a particular spot? Or if I'm who knows where, can I choose a system all the way across the bubble to exert my undermining influence?
Okay.
Either way is fine with me personally, because I just think this carrier just jumped over there. Done. Now we're influencing over there,
All right. Well, let's peel another layer of this. And for these questions, let's consider both what they're calling the mercenary mode and the power play mode, because I think the power play mode is maybe marginally more clear about it having some tie to location. But in general, do you think an operation should inherit or be influenced by anything in the live game at all? The system, the station, the local factions, BGS, the local economy, the current Galnet story, a CG, or it's just your commander and your ship, and you're off into the pocket universe?
Can I go first?
Sure.
I want it to be, but I don't think it should be.
You what?
You want it to be what? Wait.
I wish it was, but I can isolate my desires from the health and trajectory of the game overall. This is an olive branch to the current gaming culture that is influenced by other types of games, like extraction shooters or like instance-based, 4-player multiplayer co-op games. It's giving you that framework and opportunity but not taking anything away from the, I feel, unmatched immersion that Elite offers. And I have to admit, now that I'm 40 and now that I'm Dad Daxy, and I might only have like a half hour, I knew when Operation was announced, I was like, I hate this. And I think that might change. It's totally changed. Totally changed. I'm like, if I have a half hour, I'm not sitting down to play Elite. I'll hop into Arc Raiders or something. When Operations comes out, I'm probably going to do an Operation. And I think they know that the appeal to the current player base, they've kind of maxed out their current market. I hate to talk about markets, but that's kind of what the game revolves around. They've tapped out the current player base, and this is an olive branch to players that can ingratiate themselves into the game that are used to a different play format. So I don't want it to be tied to anything, even though I would love it.
Mm-hmm. Do you have an opinion on this?
Sorry,
go ahead, Chax.
sorry, I spoke out of turn. No.
No. Go ahead.
Okay, I think I agree with the message there, and it also seems like, why build it this way if it's going to be locked to a system state? Like, we already have a lot of stuff that's locked to a system state, and I'm going over my head, like, is it a problem if it's locked to a system state? Like, maybe certain operations would become available if the system's in pirate attack or something. Maybe, but being instance-based, it doesn't need to be, and you can join them from anywhere. So, like, why? It's arbitrary. It would be an arbitrary limitation. But that doesn't mean that they couldn't introduce other ones that are state-based, or it could happen. And then there's these little rushes, right? Like, oh, who's a system in in Outbreak, let's go get our pharmaceutical isolators. Here's a pirate attack. Now we have, I mean, pirate attack is weird right now anyway. It'd be nice to have, the operations all popped up. Now we can do those to try to do something about it. That'd be fun, but...
Okay, well, let's put a pin in arbitrary, and we'll come back to that. Oblivious, you may be a different target audience than Adaxius. You're very, if I could maybe put words in your mouth, you're very invested in BGS, and...
Oh, I thought you were going to say old.
No.
Nobody needs to say that.
Wow. I'm thinking, though, Oblivious, how drawn are you going to be to this if, like, your universe is the goings-on between BGS and power play? How drawn are you going to be to operations if it's not inheriting any of this or being influenced by any of this?
Yeah, it's funny because my mind went down the path of if it's going to influence, okay, great. Now what happens when we start gamifying those particular aspects of it?
Right.
I think, for example, all of the heroics some of our friends go through to maintain anarchy systems. Or the mechanics of what you're trying to do to put something into pirate attack or take it out of famine or what have you. Given the current state that BGS is in today, you're now going to go layer this on top of it. I get.
Well, let's because that's a.
I
get older thinking about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's just a whole other topic. But if we were to say, for instance, that at some point in the next 6 months, BGS is either going to get fixed or go away. Let's assume it's fixed. If you take that as an assumption for these questions, do you care then? Like, are you going to be still involved in the, let's say, the quote unquote real galaxy and less invested in the pocket universes of operations?
Crickets.
Okay, give him a second.
No, I'll put it on. It depends.
All right, we'll come back to that.
Here's what I want you to think about. Is my mind goes towards, if I want to go screw somebody's BGS up, how do I leverage this system to screw their BGS up? And in the process of doing it, am I held accountable in any way to having that effect on somebody else's BGS? Is this like, what is it?
It's the ultimate solo, right?
Yeah, it could be the ultimate solo, except now you got 4 friends in there to go help you destroy somebody else's player managed faction. So from that perspective, I hope it's not tied to it, because where I stand today, and even with ideas of where I think BGS can go, I still don't know of a good way to prevent people from taking advantage of systems like that and just creating havoc for the blooming winds of the world who just wants to go build their space in the bubble and be left alone type of thing. That prospect worries me.
Okay. That's a good argument for it.
I'll put it in the camp as I hope it doesn't. It is not associated with it. Yeah.
I mean, I guess my thought there is that issue, meaning, say, people that run BGS and solo, assuming BGS gets fixed and continues on, I don't know that whatever happens with operations will change any of that. Like, I don't know that there's any future state where you're able to directly counter in the same game mode with someone who's doing. You're having to do other things, and right. Because the other side of that could be, well, what if you could do an operation and counter what the other person is doing in a different operation?
Well, that was pretty much that's where I was going. If you could hold, if there was some layer of accountability, or exactly that. Can I counter? Can I respond? There are so many things that are in the BGS world right now that if someone wants to rip you up, and they don't control any assets, there's absolutely nothing you can do to respond to it. So you're basically building sandcastles out there. But yeah, if this brings an element that if player X slaps player Y and player Y can have an opportunity to go back and slap player X, then I'm fine with it.
Okay. Well, let's take this in a little different direction. Instead of maybe being so much about the raw min-max mechanics about say winning BGS or something. Let's think more in terms of I'm thinking about immersion, a kind of just the fun and the immersion. And given that the way this game started is we're all in the same universe and everything affects everything, and it's we're all playing the same game in a way, or same universe of game. Do you think that it matters if when the operation starts, does anything need to be true outside of the private instance to make it feel like it happened in Elite's galaxy, rather than it's just truly in a pocket universe and it's just a different little game? Like, does anything need to connect those?
There's so much of this galaxy that we can't touch. Like when I go into when I land at Rayman here, if I get out, I'm in like a building. I'm in like a somewhat large building. It'd be big for a house. But this station holds millions of people, right?
Yep.
So no, there is absolutely nothing that they could put into an operation that I wouldn't believe is somewhere in this galaxy. That's fine. I think that's in fact, this is another thing that that operations can fix about this game's simulation. The fact that like we can only walk in like, what are we up to now? Not 0.15% or whatever.
This may be a small detail, but would the space that you can walk into when you get out of your ship in a Coriolis feel as real if you couldn't look outside that window in the bar and see actual ships coming in that are real?
No, not at all.
Like if you're open.
Yeah, that's a nice touch.
Not at all.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of thing I'm after here, is like that's a little touch that actually makes it feel like, I'm meeting up with somebody here, and there they are.
There is the after effect, right? If you pick the power play influencing option, the number on the system changes, but that's only
number go up simulator.
It is number go up. It is number go up simulator.
Well, so right now, like there's always little NPCs buzzing about. There's, so for the flying portions of these operations, there's going to be NPCs buzzing about, right? There's nowhere in this game. If you fly to nowhere and drop out, unless you're just so far away from populated space, there's NPCs spawn around you. That's a power play move. You can get power play ships to spawn around you by just dropping out of Super Cruise. That's all it takes. So no, I think there will be NPCs buzzing about, and they won't be your buddies, but that's because you're in a 4-person instance. Yeah. All
right, let me reframe something here. Here's where the recent Burning Stations CG gave me a different way to think about this. So for those that were unaware, partway through that event, the regular rescue missions vanished because enough rescues had been completed to change the BGS state away from the crisis state that was generating those missions. I think it was maybe pirate attack. That, I'd say, was a fascinating little reminder that in Elite, a burning station is not just a level or a backdrop, apparently, in the new way they've programmed it. It is a place inside a live system with faction states, services, traffic, rescue ships, mission boards, and players pushing on those systems in real time. So when Frontier talks about a burning rescue operation, I think it raises a much deeper question. If the actual rescue mission is happening in a private instance, what is happening in the live galaxy outside that instance? So here's a thought experiment. Imagine a burning rescue operation. Is there actually going to be a burning station in a live game that other commanders can fly to, and not necessarily interact with the operation, but it's the same station? Or are we being transported in operations to a bespoke burning station, I'm making air quotes, set, like a play that only exists for the operation.
Okay. That would be a really cool move to I will say I wouldn't put any of these possibilities, these combination of possibilities past them, right? But it would be great, and it probably should be that those happen. Now that you describe it that way, it's all coming together. They need to create a pirate attack situation somewhere. Like that has to be something that's programmed to happen at certain times and under certain conditions. And then you can sign up for the operation, and this carrier is going to take you there, and you're going to run the thing. And yeah, the station needs to be burning because all the stations in the galaxy we can go to, right? Even if we can only walk in a short portion of them.
So regular commanders could run burning station rescues at
and
the
we're the
live
ones
station
getting
with
them.
their Lynxes, while operations squads run private tactical rescue missions at the same station without interfering with each other.
And it sounds like we're when they describe it, it sounds like we're like blowing open the door and getting people down to the landing pad so then they can climb onto. See, that's really cool. But at the same time, the video we've seen so far of people fighting in the stations, they confirm that grenades fly in a straight line because there's no gravity. But when the people get shot,
well, that was on the
mega
megaship, though, wasn't it? That was on the megaship.
Yeah, the megaship that has no gravity. The grenades flow straight, but the people
we have to keep
fall
talking
down.
About gravity. Let's stop
but
talking
that's
about
the
gravity.
thing. No. Listen. Like whatever. I don't care. Except that we just said, here's what obviously should happen, and it would be really cool. But here's what they didn't think of, right? This basic shit like, hey, we took the time to make grenades work like they're not in gravity, but womp womp, everything else acts like there is gravity.
Yeah.
There's still the pizza box on the ground.
Well, let's assume the burning station. Let's assume the burning station operations mission is in a Coriolis, just like the burning stations are now. There would be gravity. So the gravity maybe isn't the issue.
So sorry, I wasn't actually meaning those were associated issues. I was using it just to illustrate the example of Frontier does not always think of this.
Yeah.
So Adaxius, what do you think? The burning rescue operation, should it be in parallel? Should it be anchored in a real burning station that's in the galaxy?
I don't, because you get yourself in the situation where potentially one of the visually coolest operations is bound to there being a burning station, which then makes it incumbent to have a perma burning station that somehow we can never fix.
No, because they can appear all over the bubble and they can come and go, and your operation takes you to there no matter where you are. So you're fine.
I thought that the CG was somewhat random unless there's weaving a thread to go into some big consortium salvation story arc, but you could be onto something in that why have this random CG with criminal attacks? If the operations is rolling out, maybe the precedent is like, hey, at any given time, somewhere in the station, a station's in the bubble, a station's burning.
Lady Z is gameplay Santa,
right? She's actually here for our benefit. She's like, I don't even like crime. I just want you guys to have access to this operation.
So to your point about this would require a perma burning station, I guess is the term. Wouldn't you have to have, if the alternative is, well, you can always have a burning rescue operation, aren't you by definition positing that there is a burning station somewhere? Now you're just saying it's like insert generic burning station that I don't know the name of that is somewhere that we don't talk about.
Bro, the bubble has like tripled in size.
Yeah, it's true.
We're fine. We can burn a few.
Can they set one of our colonization stations on fire and make that fodder for the operations?
A lot of the stations around Lhou Main were Trailblazers systems. I brought several loads of tourists to an agricultural Coriolis or something that was named such and such penal colony.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Wait, you rescued people to take them to jail?
That's where they wanted to go.
It
wasn't a real jail. It was just something that some player had named a penal colony because it was just a Coriolis, and it had the agriculture, like it had the no, it was a tourism station. It had like all the statues and the pretty trees inside.
You trafficked people into slavery?
This is what I'm saying. I was paid handsomely to do it.
That's why it's 50 million credits.
Oh my
They
god.
were
The
like,
whole
please
thing.
take me to this place.
The whole thing is a human
Oblivious.
trafficking operation.
I'm going to ask you a little variation of this question. So,
Before you
first,
do, I have a question.
okay,
So
go.
go back and clarify.
Yeah.
If what we know so far, are they saying this first set of 6 operation missions are all available, and you choose which one you're going
They
Seemed
don't.
that way.
to do?
Well, they
Or
say
are
they're there, but they didn't put any parameters around. Are they
Yeah.
always all there? Do you get to choose
Okay.
them all? This is what we're
So-
exploring.
Do they
one of the
all
things.
affect
So-
both modes? Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now do they maybe go into something like a CG cycle? This week it's counterattacks. And you show up and you're going to
Could.
go do counter. And next week it's the burning whatever. And now you've got burning stuff showing up in the bubble.
So,
Maybe
They
that's
could.
how
That
it
seems
will go.
unlikely, though, right? I
maybe.
think
I
they're
mean,
always on, but I don't know.
what do you think, Oblivious, about? Do you think, first of all, that the CG, that little gaff of the missions being turned off, do you think, from a BGS perspective, that actually revealed that burning stations might now be triggered by a BGS state?
I hope so. That
Yeah.
Seem that way.
yes, exactly. That was the thing I was thinking about when I did the burning stations this time. I was actually a little let down. It wasn't as heart pounding as I remembered it. Now, I also thought through that, and the reason it was I remembered it being more heart pounding is I was very new to Thargoids. I hadn't run into any Thargoids before. Very, very new to the game. I would jump out of my skin if my heat alarm went off, and I didn't know what I knew now. So
And you were probably
now
doing it in
going
a
in,
Type 7 or something.
no, I was in
Wondering why it was going
Phantom,
poorly. Okay.
a Python. No, not a Python, Phantom. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I was thinking. Wow, but wouldn't it be cool if I could do something, or our groups could do something to actually set a station on fire? Uh, so
So-
yeah,
So in that case, would your preference be that if that becomes a mechanism in the game, that either through the normal machinations of the BGS or with player agency, it can be put into a state, the station goes on fire, and now there's both the regular, fly your links in and rescue people, plus now an operations mission around burning rescue is available if the leader is, say, in that system.
yeah, I like that idea.
Okay. Now let's take this a little further. Suppose, let's say that's where we are. Hammer that piton in. Now suppose normal rescue missions. So if normal rescue missions depend on a BGS crisis state, if the normal rescue effort changes the state and the regular missions disappear, then would it follow that the operations missions would disappear for that as well?
Yeah, but it would be less of a concern because it's not in this case it's not tied to a CG where you're trying to accomplish a certain goal, and the BGS mechanics are preventing you from getting to that goal because it wasn't factored into all of the math.
So is this where
I'm
we're
at least-
landing then? That the BGS should drive at least one of the operations mission types? Or should the BGS be the authoritative thing here, or an operation generator, whatever that might be, some forge for operations, or power play context, or maybe a separate frontier event flag? Like, was the BGS just a side effect in this last CG, and it was just really all about frontier flicking a flag on in the code or something?
Yeah,
What do we think should be?
So I don't think it's a side effect. I think it is an effect that isn't understood or considered when they're designing the CG. So that's a different subject. So if I understand the question you're posing correctly, should there be a mechanism in the BGS that I can create a particular state that's going to kick off burning rescue missions in my system or a system of my choice, or surface rescue, or pirate hunt. That's very interesting. I'm kind of liking the idea of being able to do that.
I'm not sure if I figured out, Trax or Adaxius, where you guys land on this. Is it the burning station, because it's such a visually obvious thing? Should it be tied to a real burning station that also happens to be connected to the BGS, or you're fine with you go into the Pocket universe and you're at burning station X, which doesn't actually exist anywhere in the live galaxy?
I would really want it to be a real station. Yeah, I think that would suck if it wasn't a real station, but I think there are so many stations you can make that happen. You can make it so somewhere there's always one, because the carrier doesn't, that means you don't have to be at the right spot.
Do you care if the leader has to be at the right spot?
I don't know. Maybe.
You care who? The leader? Is
the person who starts the operation?
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, the one clue we seem to have here is that, at least for the power play affecting missions, it matters where the leader kicks off the mission.
Yeah.
Or they said you choose which system you wanted your power play influence to go to. Now, they didn't. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to be in or near that system. It kind of seems likely, but it doesn't have to. They could just make it. It's just ease of use, right?
Yeah.
Like,
it
you're
feels
transporting anyway.
Yeah, it feels like the behind the curtain in-game section would be, in theory, you're selecting where you want to undermine. It's just cutting out your squad gets on a fleet carrier that jumps you there, and then 15 minutes later, the operation starts. Just cutting that out of the picture.
Minutes.
Yeah, just cutting it out and making it relatively instant. I would love it too, but I don't want it to. I want it to be this easily accessed game mode that is bridging the gap to this different kind of player base, and I can't believe I'm saying that. I feel like
there's so many stations. Like you can make at least one can be on fire all the time. We can make that a rule of this game world. At least one station is on fire at any given moment.
Hope that's how it goes, but there is also a part of me that is, sadly capitulating to modern gaming culture and saying, this is a gameplay style that a lot of other people are used to, and to keep the game alive.
Okay. Let me turn the wrench one more turn here. Would it feel wrong if operations, and we're kind of the model here is the burning station one, if operations in this this scenario were subject to the BGS but did not influence it? In other words, the live galaxy missions can turn the operations on or off, but operations would not help in any way to resolve the actual live crisis of the station on fire.
I wouldn't like that. That feels fundamentally divorced from the nature of the game. Because that's just a numbers issue. Like, that's just them turning a number on or off. But so much of the base game design is this bubble is moving and changing, and you guys have your hands on the dials.
Okay. But I agree, but also at the same time, it's like, but what about the issue of BGS influence getting easier? Because if you can do it from anywhere in the bubble, if I can land at any pad and I find that there are only 2 burning stations right now, so I want to do that scenario, so I'm going to affect that. Suddenly I have, how many people are playing operations right now? All of those people are now being directed to their gameplay is influencing my system. Whereas before, it was just whoever was nearby, and they don't know how BGS works, and they don't even realize they're doing it, or maybe they do realize they're doing it, and it's some combination of those two. And sometimes something happens and you go, oh my God, what's going on? And it's just random foot traffic. But most of the time people are spread out. And if there's only 1 or 2 burning stations, so it's like if the operation scenario has to resolve the burning station or contribute to resolving it, it would have to be so infinitesimally small so that it wouldn't make things go crazy, because all across the bubble, every time somebody lands on a pad and says, let's see what operations are like, well, you could do burning stations, which will take you to, comma, where the stations happens to be on fire right now,
So
that's my thoughts.
So it wouldn't be a point of what do you call it, cognitive dissonance if you're just rescuing VIP after VIP after VIP, and this goes on for 4 days, and damn it, the station's still on fire. Like, what
Well,
the
that's
hell?
what we did. It was 2 weeks. We rescued all the
What's
politicians.
this station made of?
We rescued all the politicians, and the pirates were done, but they wanted the CG to go on for another week, so they had to God hand it back in. And then suddenly the other factions go in, and now suddenly there's tourists and politicians, and all this is a little fuzzy, right? And let's assume that this was the beta test for this particular new version of burning stations and how they relate to BGS. But yeah, I mean, I took personally so many people. Well, hold on. Let's just we have Inara. Just commanders reporting to Inara. Evacuation effort. So how many people? In fact, we can just tell you really easily. We almost cleared it, by the way. It was 96.6% done. They wanted, hold on, I'm counting. They wanted 10 trillion people.
Oh my
Hold
God.
on, 1,000, billion, they wanted 10 trillion people to be rescued. Now, there's 3 burning stations. Coriolis and 2 Ocellus, I think.
Each station had 3 trillion people.
We rescued 96.64% of them. That is 9.663 trillion humans.
Was someone else running tourist missions to dump them back in?
Yeah.
I mean, what's going on?
So,
See the
that's
burning
the
station.
level-
Get off here.
That's the level of
Step
realism.
right
You know, because you have to make it stuff that people can play. They wanted it to run for 2 weeks so that everybody could participate and have fun doing the thing, right? Just like how instead of like normally when you're rescuing and the station's fucking on fire and people are like, please just take me out of here. These ones were like, no, we're not going anywhere unless you take
Wow.
all 108 of us in
Yeah,
one go.
yeah.
In business
Because
class.
the links
Oh.
just came out, so they had to sell. And so that was in the future when burning stations continue to be a normal thing that's come back. I really hope that they put it back to the way it was before, where you'd have some that are only like 8 or 12 people, and you grab
Yeah.
a couple of big numbers, and then you figure out how to Tetris in the smaller missions, and that's part of the gameplay. That's what I liked. One of the things I liked. So I hope that comes back. Anyway, that was my little bitch session. 10 trillion humans.
So let me put another twist in this little pretzel. If the operations burning rescue missions are tied to a real station on fire, and people really like the operations version of the mission, and the actual live station is being driven by BGS, are we going to create a situation where there's like animosity between the people trying to run operations and the people doing the live rescue missions, because they could end up making the operations mission go away?
Is this
But
that
it just moves to a different one of the other 3 stations that are always eternally, like, it just bounces around which stations are burning.
Is
Your
this that
operation is never missing. I'm telling
Is
you.
this that scene in Gangs of New York when the both fire departments show up to the burning building and start fighting each other to put it out?
Basically. Here's the thing, if you haven't figured it out already, I'm trying to find logical inconsistency. Like, this is pushing 2 poles of a magnet together, right? Like,
Yeah.
not all of these things can be true at the same time
Right.
and support the same kind of immersion. So it's like, which 2 of these 3 are they going to pick, right?
Yeah.
Because there's advantages to having it tied to BGS. There's advantages to not. There's immersion questions, and then there's actually the what's fun, or you made my fun go away kind of question if you have a consequence where they're tied together.
Yeah, I'm gonna be the downer and be like, I don't care. I just want it to be a Pocket Universe gameplay option to broaden the player base. That's such a bum answer. I feel bad saying it, but I
It's
have
totally
to chime
possible for them to make
Yeah.
it permanently available. It just they
Yeah.
just have to make it so that the BGS state there's always at least a handful. There are
It's not
so
like they
many
don't have
stations, guys.
options.
They hired
Yeah.
us to triple or whatever size the bubble over the past
Mhm.
year or whatever.
It's
We're-
like, where
they're
do you
fine.
want your suspension of disbelief to be?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
Which
It's
version
fine.
do you want?
Yeah.
Here's another one since I pulled the window open. let's throw out some. None of you have Inara open right now, right?
No.
Okay. The
How
the
big of
top-
nerds do you think we are?
The top
It's
commander.
covered up by Discord, dude. It's
So
always open.
we have all the percentiles, right? We have the percentiles, but I know what the number one commander, because we have the top 10 commanders, and they show a range for what they contributed. So I know how many people the number one commander rescued in this thing. Throw out some guesses. What do you think?
And they're about like 100 and something a run in a length, right?
I mean, if isn't it two? I bet you can get. Can't you get like 215 or whatever?
That's right. That's right.
If
Just
you
over
max it out and
200.
you do all economy.
Yeah. So.
Wait. Is Inara listing the credit reward or the number
Nope.
of passengers?
This is contributions, which was evacuated passengers. Wait, am I wrong about that?
I think it's credits. I think the contribution is credits. What was the credit per passenger ratio?
I mean, some of the biggest ones were 50 million, but there was lots in the tens.
Yeah.
Wait, if that's true, then the thing I was yelling about earlier, 10 trillion was credits, not people.
Oh, okay. That
Am I reading this wrong?
I think that
makes
actually
sense,
kind of
yeah.
makes more sense.
Okay.
I thought it was. Oh, come on.
Because I don't think the top commander did 30 billion passengers.
30 billion was the top
I think-
contribution. It
Now,
has to be
hold
right.
on.
It has
Now,
to be
hold on.
credits. It has
So
to be
Trax,
credits.
That's
you
still
tracked.
impressive.
So not paying attention, you tracked about 1 billion. So rough paper table napkin math. How many passengers
Yeah.
do you estimate you did? Multiply that by 30.
I mean, I was running, I think I could do 100. I settled on business class because the mission rewards were better for materials. And so I could do 112 or something a run. But I would routinely get like a run of 90. So like on average, every run was, this is so hard to estimate because some of them only paid maybe 4 million credits along with the material rewards. And then other times it was like 44 or 50 million and a bunch of materials at the same time. So I don't know if I can realistically estimate. Yeah, I mean, the range for top 25 is where I landed, and that was between 500 million and 15.6 billion.
Yeah.
Was that range.
Yep.
It's wild.
Yeah.
It's wild. And it's got to be because some people were aiming for credits the whole time and ignoring the material rewards.
What do you do with 30 billion credits?
I don't
Anything
know.
you want.
Multiple times in my gaming career, I've had 30 billion. I only have 20 billion right now.
You can't own 7 fleet carriers.
Okay, I've got one more finisher question.
Yep.
But before we go there, does anybody have anything they want to say about operations, the missions, the things we've been talking about here before we get to that question? Anything you've been dying to get out and we've been talking around it and you didn't have a chance to spit it out?
What will it do for your immersion when you select a particular mission that is in a location 100 light years away and blip, now you appear in that location without explanation as to how we're able to transport 100 light years in these facilities, but nowhere else are we able to use that.
Well, yeah, that's the first stated suspension of disbelief in this whole thing.
Right. Yeah.
Do you think that's untenable or like bad? Or
I
what?
don't know. I just wondered, are they going to try to explain that? Oh,
I
well,
think it's
we've
great.
I think
expanded
it would-
the capabilities of the blue circle.
It would kill the immersion if you got to stay there. But you don't. You teleport there and you're back. Yeah, it's
Sure,
not
because it's sort of an enhanced telepresence.
Yeah.
It's a CQC.
Well,
I mean, we could argue this for telepresence.
Yeah.
How
No,
far-
explain it as a telepresence. That would be a way
How
to
far
do it.
across is the bubble right now? Not the spider legs and everything, but the main ball of the bubble.
Oh,
How many?
what is it? 300
I
light
don't know.
years?
Yeah.
So it's within a
maybe
carrier
300?
jump.
Yeah,
That's what it
within a
was
carrier jump.
originally. It's got to be bigger
Yeah.
than now because we've.
Because I mean, we're not gonna have a operations mission in Beagle Point or something, right? It's going to be somewhere in the bubble.
How cool would that be?
I mean, maybe, but
I mean,
because you
yeah.
can kind of explain it away by saying we did one carrier jump.
The Great Annihilator
that's what
is
I
the
was thinking.
backdrop.
In less than
This-
15 minutes.
This little
Well, it's smaller, it's
this
faster.
little
maybe?
4-pad job. Yeah, he's got
Well-
the speedy spin up there.
No, let's not forget the lore. Our main man, the bartender, what's his name, out in Colonia. He got
Jock?
to Colonia. Jock, he got to Colonia in one jump. If you remember the background lore
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
The
Way past the
500
red line.
500 light years, just the frame shift drive of that class tied to fleet carriers, but you can go up bigger, and he popped 20K light years in a jump.
But it was
Wow.
accidental where he landed too, because it was
Yeah.
like couldn't calculate it right, and that's fun.
Mhm.
No, this little four pad thing, it can do a jump in 3 minutes or whatever. How long does it take you to strap your boots on?
Yeah.
All right.
Hmm.
Anyone else?
Yeah, don't at me about if I get emails, I swear to you, if I get emails about the 10 trillion humans thing, like, look, we all had fun. You listeners, you were along with me for the ride.
No, I think
And
you're
it's
more
fine,
likely
and
to
I'm
get
sure-
emails about transporting the tourists to the penal colony. I think
I'm
that's a
sure
bigger
Everyone-
sin.
trafficking
Just for
tourists.
reference, do not email jntracks@email.com. Do not send anything to that email address.
But if you do, make sure it's all in French.
But if you
Yeah.
do, it would be jntracks@email.com. Not that you should.
Okay. Did you have anything else to say, Trax?
You don't want that.
Okay. So here's the question. I've got my
Yeah.
thoughts on this. I'll go last. I'll let each of you jump in with this first. So here's the finisher question. If Frontier has to choose, should operations be, let's say, protected from the messiness of the live galaxy so that the operations missions are always reliable, always available? Or should some operations missions or mission types be allowed to appear, change, and disappear, or be anchored to locations based on the same BGS, power play, CG, and other narrative states that make Elite feel alive? In other words, should operations be a reliable activity layer or a storytelling layer primarily?
I don't
I
want to
say-
choose between those
I-
two.
I
I want
say
a middle.
both.
I know you don't want
want
to
'em-
choose. That's why I
want 'em
make the
both.
questions this
I
way.
say both. I say both. You have
Both is not an answer unless
Well,
you
here's
can
the- well, here's the thing.
elaborate. Tell me
So,
how both
I'll
works.
elaborate. I've another game not related in play style at all, but with a rotating availability is a game called Arc Raiders, very popular right now.
Yep.
In that the map selection is always available in standard. There are rotating versions that add that extra little spice, and they're on a kind of random time scale.
Like special
I-
things like nighttime or with a weather effect
Yeah,
or something
special
like
modifiers or a
Yep.
mission type that's exceptional, but it then creates, hey, stable, reliable play experience. We're also giving you variety. So I am going to say both. So yeah.
that. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
I think
fair.
there's enough stations and locations that you could. It's totally realistic that there is always at least one instance of each of these things going on at any given time.
Okay.
I think that
Do
makes
you
perfect.
think-
But if you but like hypothetically, if you're asking me hypothetically, if they had to choose, then they have to make them stable. I think they can't make operations like only available sometimes. That doesn't make sense from a gameplay standpoint. So
But you're saying it realistically, practically, because of the size of the galaxy and the
Yeah.
variety of things going on, functionally, it would turn into being reliable, even if they tried
Yeah.
to tie it to something.
yeah, and
Okay.
and if they have to like polish out a few BGS numbers adjustments to make the states appear the way they're supposed to make sure everything works, then great. Like, fiddle with the numbers until you get it right. It shouldn't, I think it should be fine. But ultimately, if they want to just wipe their hands of it and just be like, nope, they're pocket instances, the station, no real station is burning, but you can still play, then that's the end goal. You have to be able to play.
Okay.
So go back all the way back to Tracks, the thing that excited you the most about this particular approach. And
Lava
that-
Worlds, yes.
Yeah, exactly. That they're able to,
Mustafa?
by
Is it called?
uncoupling it,
Mustafar. Uh-huh.
uncoupling
Yeah.
it from the mechanics of the game. Now they're able to bring content that they can't otherwise because it's too integrated into the spaghetti code. They're able to break it out or break it out and put it in a box and present it to you that way. I guess that's how I would, to answer your question, Roy, is yeah, I would like it. I would like it tied to story, but not if it limits their capability to bring new content that they can't bring now. If it's limited to the story or the mechanics of the game itself, I would like them to be able to benefit on being able to create new stages, if you will, to act out whatever needs to be acted out reliably. If that's the limiting factor, and that's the thought behind taking this particular approach, is so that they can utilize new code outside of the old spaghetti code in order to accomplish it.
Okay. Well, I think the three of you each nicely landed on different parts of my opinion about this. I think operations, I mean, of course, they could be private instances, and they need to be if Frontier wants these, say, more richer, more scripted, more unique mission spaces that they can't do across the galaxy. But I also feel that they shouldn't feel completely sealed off from the galaxy. I think Elite is at its best when these messy live systems matter, even when they create complications. But like Audaxia spoke about Arc Raiders, I think about the systems in Destiny 1 and Destiny 2, where there were events that would pop up that were reliable. You knew how to trigger them, and you could do them every day if you wanted. And then there was other ones that happened once a week, and then there was other ones that had seasons. They'd last for a few months, and then that whole map might go away. So there could be a spectrum of opportunities there. They don't all have to be handled the same way. I think Burning Rescues is kind of a particular one. It is a mission that holds a special place, I think, in a lot of people's hearts in Elite. I do think it should be tied. I think that one would benefit most from being tied to a real station. And then if the BGS state changes, I'm okay with that crisis moving on. I think you're right, Trax, that with the size of the universe or the galaxy, they could tune that and maybe avoid the scarcity problem there. I don't think that would break the game. I think it's like the galaxy telling its story. So I hope that operations doesn't just launch from anywhere in the galaxy, but actually matters to the galaxy.
That would make sense, right?
Yeah.
So say we all.
Okay. What do we got left here? Hey, Adaxius, do you know what time it is?
It's the community corner.
Community corner. Here's where we pretend we have friends.
Wait, was the first one the fake one or the second one the fake one?
You hit the button twice, Roy.
We'll never know.
If the second one was the fake one, how did he do it in exactly the same key?
We'll never
Wow,
know.
someone's got perfect pitch.
Right?
Yeah. Well, who knows what that means? Screwspace, guys. New Screwspace, our own little lobe of the bubble, was building new stations. So if cargo hauling, and if you are sick of hauling 30 trillion people out of 3 stations, you can help haul and build. Volt in the Discord, point of contact for that. And we also have a thread you can hop in, and you can bring 30 trillion power generators to the new stations in new Screwspace.
Or just one.
Frontier trading update. If the game is not enough and you need the real end game, which is Frontier's financials, apparently there's a revenue and profit report that is, I'm sure, riveting reading. And I'm just going to read this because I don't know what it means. Operation Warbucks Eradicating Cancer.
Charity event.
That is a charity event. And
Yes.
Yeah, we have a
Is that
link.
this weekend?
I believe so, yes.
I just read what's on the cue card, and that's all that I've got. But we do have a link to that. The Elite community is pretty renowned for pulling together quite good charity events. So this is the next one. I'm assuming it has something to do with
eradicating cancer is
Yeah,
excellent.
eradicating. That is actually pretty clever.
Full marks.
Yeah, top marks for that one. And that's the community corner.
Excellent. Well, we've reached the end of the agenda here. Does anyone else have anything they want to add before we wrap up? Okay.
Not I.
Well, in that case, thank you very much, Commander J on Trax,
You're welcome.
Commander Oblivious,
Thank you.
and Commander Audaxius.
Bitteschön.
And
Huh?
thank you, dear listener. If you'd like to chat with the crew and join in on the fun, you can find us at Loose Screwsed or loosescrewsed.com. You can find a link to our Discord there. We also have a Patreon used for supporting our community. So thank you all for hanging out with us. Until next time, stay loose and screwy, Commanders. Say goodbye, everyone.
Say goodbye, everyone. 30 trillion passengers.